Imagine an Aspen airlift, a national effort to rescue the people of Aspen from the suffocating prison of their own whiteness. We've done this before. The Berlin airlift, it was called. It lasted for 15 months from the summer of 1948 to the next fall. The U.S. Air Force delivered millions of tons of desperately needed supplies to the suffering people of West Germany. Nearly 80 years later, the Berlin airlift is still considered one of the great humanitarian acts in our history. But there's no reason we couldn't repeat it. Think big. Imagine an Aspen airlift, a national effort to rescue the people of Aspen from the suffocating prison of their own whiteness. Instead of food and coal and medicine, the Biden administration could deliver an even more essential life-saving commodity, and that's diversity, into the cultural wasteland of Pitkin County, Colorado, which, if you can believe it, as of tonight, is only 0.5% black. Into that, Joe Biden could deposit Haitians and Somalis and Congolese, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of them, Guatemalans, Ghanaians, Algerians, the entire population of the Cape Verde Islands. We can do that. We're America. And why stop with those countries? As of tonight, there are still 4 million people living in the impoverished state of Oaxaca, Mexico. Do you care about them? We do, because we're good people. So why shouldn't a quarter of all Oaxacans move to Aspen by next ski season? And to be clear, not move there to run the chairlifts at Snowmass. Move there to ride the chairlifts at Snowmass, to benefit fully from the economic bounty of that isolated, blindingly white mountain community we call Aspen. Is there anything more American than that? Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. There you go. Aspen is America's new golden door. As former FBI Director Jim Comey, himself an attendee at the Aspen Ideas Festival, once put it on Twitter, quote, "This country's greatness and true genius lies in its diversity." Well put, Jim Comey. Well put. It's finally time to bring some greatness and true genius to Aspen. But we can't stop there. Why would we? Next stop on the equity train has got to be Martha's Vineyard. It's a natural. Joe Biden took 70% of the vote on that small Massachusetts island. Over the past 4 years, according to FEC data, 92% of all donations from its biggest town, Edgartown, Massachusetts, went to the Democratic Party. So you probably imagine Edgartown is pretty diverse. I mean, the Obamas lived on the island, right? No. In fact, we checked, at last count, Edgartown is 95.7% white. What century is this? As of 2019, only 3% of all people, all residents in Edgartown, were born outside of this country. So do the math. That's 17 people total. That's effectively zero diversity, which means zero strength. They are begging for more diversity. Why not send migrants there? In huge numbers. Let's start with 300,000 and move up from there. As the island gets stronger, more. And then on to Malibu, another Democratic community, 84% white. Malibu went for Joe Biden with 69% of the vote. 64% of all political donations from Malibu went to Democrats over the last 4 years. Why not diversity for them, too? Why not a Malibu airlift? How about Burlington, Vermont? 86% of the residents there voted for Joe Biden, who believes that illegal immigration is a gift. 77% of political donations from Burlington over the past 4 years went to the Democratic Party. And yet it's still troublingly white. Time to decolonize 84% white Burlington. These towns are crying out for help. Martha's Vineyard above all. And there's bipartisan support for this effort, by the way. Michelle Obama, ladies and gentlemen.
We grew up in the period, as I write, called white flight. Yeah. That is, families like ours, upstanding families like ours, who were doing everything we were supposed to do and better. As we moved in, white folks moved out because they were afraid of what our families represented. And I always stop there when I talk about this out in the world because, I want to remind white folks that y'all were running from us, and you're still running. because we're no different than the immigrant families that are moving in, the families in Pilsen, the families that are coming from other places to try to do better. And so, yeah, I feel a sense of injustice.
It's Michelle Obama lecturing white folks again. And you can kind of see why, because white folks, as she just told us, are afraid of her. When she shows up, they leave. But the weird thing is, she moved to Martha's Vineyard, a massive oceanfront estate, global warming be damned, and white folks didn't leave. They stayed there, along with Michelle Obama. So maybe we need to diversify Martha's Vineyard immediately. Maybe Michelle Obama is just trying to be the change she wants to see in the world. Maybe she's leading the way. Maybe we send the next 300,000 illegal border crossers on charter flights to Edgartown, Massachusetts, then on to Brookline, Mass., and Georgetown, D.C., and Malibu, Bozeman, Burlington. There's no reason the Rio Grande Valley should have all the benefits of diversity.